Are you in harmony? Are you feeling harmonious with your thoughts, your feelings, your actions? Does life seem harmonious to you, or does it seem chaotic and it's just a mess? Well, we are continuing reading James Allen's book, As a Man Thinketh, and we are on chapter 2, finishing it up. Effect of thoughts on circumstances, and I'll read a little bit more that I spilt today. So we left off yesterday. He was saying good thoughts and actions never produce bad results, and bad thoughts and actions never produce good results. Pretty simple, right? But we continue to think and act in negative ways and expect good things to happen. Carla, I'm talking to myself. That's not how it works. I cannot plant corn and get bananas. If I am planting, because every thought is a seed, if I am planting negative, judgmental, critical, pessimistic thoughts about myself or others, if I'm engaged in mental arguments, if I'm feeling down and negative self-talk, automatic negative thoughts, putting myself down, chastising, yelling at myself, feeling guilty, regretful, beating myself up, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, what is wrong with me? What makes me think that good things are going to come from that? I must remember that every single thought is a seed. I can grow a flower or I can grow a weed. So he was saying good thoughts and actions can never produce bad results, and bad thoughts and actions can never produce good results. Thank you, James Allen. Suffering is always the effect of wrong thought in some direction. It is an indication that the individual is out of harmony with himself, with the law of his being. The law meaning the law that we plant a seed and it grows and it produces. Once it's dropped into our subconscious mind, using our mind map here, if you haven't seen this before, very simple diagram. This is the mind. We have the conscious thinking and the subconscious feeling. This is the seed house of thoughts. Every thought is a seed. We think a thought, and it's a seed. Once we drop it down into our heart of hearts, our emotional mind, this is the soil. Once we drop the seed into the soil, it will produce into the results and the circumstances and the situations in our life. So if your situations and your circumstances and your results ain't good, check with yourself. How do you feel? What seeds are you dropping into your heart of hearts, into your soil? What are you getting emotionally involved with? You do not have to accept and drop down to your heart. You don't have to let it get under your skin. You don't have to get emotionally involved with any thought that wanders into your mind. We don't even have boundaries. I did a talk a couple days ago about we must have boundaries with our thoughts. We do have a choice. Eureka, Carla, when I realized this, like, oh my gosh, I don't have to take responsibility for this thought that just popped in my head. No, thank you. Not today, Satan. Reject. No, ma'am. Just grab for another thought. And of course, there's some thoughts that are more difficult than others, but you work on those and just be honest. They're still not yours. And it might be hard to not get emotionally involved, but this is the work. Awareness is key, but then doing the work afterward, whether it be, taking up a meditation, a prayer regimen, going to therapy, stuff like that. All right. It all goes to thought. Suffering is always an effect of wrong thought. We do not follow the law. We don't understand that what we keep in our mind, what we're talking about, gossiping about, chatting about, getting advice on, is what we're planting in our heart. We cannot do that. Okay. So it says, the circumstances which a man encounters with suffering are the result of his own mental inharmony. The circumstances which a man encounters with blessedness are the result of his own mental harmony. Blessedness, not material possessions, is the measure of right thought. Wretchedness, not lack of material possessions, is the measure of wrong thought. Ooh, I like that. Let's read that again. The circumstances which someone encounters with blessedness. So the circumstances, we come up to a circumstance, regardless of the circumstance. To the outside world, it could be bad. I got a flat tire. But if we encounter it with blessedness and a positive attitude, trying to look for the good, even in a shitty situation, I know, It's not the circumstance itself, but it's our thought that will dictate our blessedness in that circumstance and experience. It is not approaching that same situation with wretchedness and a bad attitude and anger and frustration that is going to create that negative experience. It's our thoughts about it, the negative things. And I think we believe as the sky is blue. I believed as the sky is blue that when bad things happen, of course I'm going to be upset. Of course I'm going to be mad. I never realized what reframing was. I didn't understand I had a choice of how I can look at something, even in the most terrible situations, like going through terrible breakups. That's painful. When you live with someone and you share a dog, I mean, woof, that's hard. I can't even imagine kids, but I'm sure if you're listening, some people go through divorces, deaths. We have a choice. And I always go to the example of Viktor Frankl and the internment camps, the Jewish psychiatrist who was in Auschwitz. He was subject to the most disgusting, atrocious, heinous crimes, but it was in there that he realized, wow, I have a choice. I have a choice of what I'm going to get emotionally involved in and how I'm going to regulate my emotions and not react. I'm not going to go along with this agenda. I am going to keep guard of my thoughts and my emotions, the garden of my mind, regardless of what's going on out here. Regardless. That was such a beautiful example of how powerful we truly are, but it takes exercise and practice and exercising this muscle. That's why I do these readings every single day, getting into this material, understanding ourselves. All right. A man may be cursed and rich. He may be blessed and poor. Blessedness and riches are not joined together when the riches are rightly and wisely used. Oh, let me read that again. A man may be cursed and rich. He may be blessed and poor. Blessedness and riches are only joined together when the riches are rightly and wisely used, and the poor man only descends into wretchedness when he regards his lot as a burden unjustly imposed. Okay, we'll read one more paragraph. Indignance and indulgence are the two extremes of wretchedness. They are both equally unnatural and the result of mental disorder. A man is not rightly conditioned until he is happy, healthy, and prosperous. And happiness, health, and prosperity are the result of a harmonious adjustment of the inner with the outer of the man with his surroundings. How is your mind? What is your mental diet? How are you feeling? What is your current life circumstance? If you were to rate on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 terrible, 10 the best in each category, I always break it up into 4. There's health, mental, emotional, physical, finances, money, prosperity, wealth, freedom, money, freedom, relationships, romantic, familial, friendships, co-working relationships, relationship with yourself, and health. Wait, did I already say that? Health, finance, relationships, career, your calling in your job, your vocation. What would you rate each of those categories on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best? And if the circumstances you find yourself in aren't where you want to be, that's okay. But you must do this work. You must do this inner work on yourself, understanding yourself, gaining awareness. Neville Goddard has that great book, The Power of Awareness. The Power of Awareness. But awareness, we can read all the books, but we have to implement it. We have to truly integrate it into our lives and take that inspired action. We must plug in every single day. Abraham Hicks always has this wonderful example of, we go out into our day. We are hopeful. We read all the books. We do all the things, but we do not connect. We do not connect to ourselves. We're only active in our conscious thinking mind. We're our intellect, right? We rely on our intellect to run the show, but the intellect does not run the show. The heart, the emotions, the subconscious mind runs the show. It's not what you think, it's what you feel. What you feel and you believe in your heart of hearts to be true. I can think all day long, I want to lose 20 pounds. But if I don't feel it and believe in my heart of hearts, because of past programming, because of my self-image that I have locked into that subconscious mind, doesn't match the new version of a 20-pound lighter version of me, I will never reach it. And if I do, it'll be temporary. It'll go right back. That's that cybernetic system, the system that regulates and keeps us at this baseline. So if my baseline for a weight is right here, and I'm like, I want to get down here. If I don't change my subconscious deep feelings about who I am down here, it will stay here. So I can lose the weight, but this will drag me right back up. It's like we all have been there. If we want to improve, if we want to quit a habit or start a habit, we just go right back to the way we have always been. That's why it's so rare, like New Year's resolutions, blah, blah, blah. Our subconscious mind, the unconscious, runs 95% of our life. Most of what we do is just habitual. We are totally ran by our habits. What are your habits? Do you have good quality habits? Are you happy? I love this reading. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see y'all